It's me. Your boy is very tired. Boom. Then we'll open this up. Ooh. Boom. All right, we're in. Finally. Okay. So let's get started. This is it. This is also it. All right. One of these days I'll have to fix some of these paths, but for now, should be all right. For now, it should be all right. Alright, so we have director util. I actually have that loaded in from a, where I'm in the process of converting that to an npm package, but for now this will be all right. Yeah. Now, what did I need the directory util for? You might ask. I actually don't remember. Yeah. That's a very good question for which I do not have a very good answer. Let me see. Yeah, I remember I had an idea for what I was gonna use this for, because I know that this stuff works. It's pretty good. It's pretty good, right? So, because as it turns out, removing things recursively, copying things recursively, even just getting the entire directory recursively, not something that exists by default in a lot of stuff. It's a bit strange. So generally you have to implement it yourself. So like even in the default Rust libraries, there's not really anything that does it, which is interesting. Very interesting. So you have to write your own algorithm to walk a directory recursively. Yeah. Anyways, let's get back to this. So we are here. We're at this point of our lives. Okay. Not yet implemented. That's good. Let's not do that anymore. Error app manager not yet implemented. Well, that's good. Thanks for letting me know. But where is this being called from? Because I'm like almost 100% sure it's not coming from app manager. It's just using the default one. It's interesting. Is it in runner traits? Oh yeah, it's probably you, right? So physics step here, and then if we use, or we open up the default runner, what's happening is listening. Okay, yeah, that's my fault. All right, so this is tracking back end, or tracking back end dummy. Yeah, okay. Why am I doing this? Of course. This should just be a false. Now, I think I saw something. So tracking backend dummy. What is this? Oh yeah, okay. So this is just in the, okay, that's a test thingy, test resource that happens to share the same name as the official class. That's fine. Default runner, say goodbye. But now we can go back into here, now that we're no longer beset by log spam. So tracking, we explode. Unable to get index open on base. Yeah. GD script native class. Yeah. On base GD script native class. What does that mean? Context, context path. Ooh, context, context path. Context, context path. File, open. What? What? What do you mean? That is what it's called, right? What is file? File is, yeah, it's file open. Oh, it's file read. File read. Sorry. And then once we open it, we get absolutely nothing out of it. So, yeah, in base GD scripts. So, yeah, okay. So then we need to check for certain values. So let's save it here, and then we'll go back to here. So, okay, so this is like unable to do a thing, and I'm pretty sure what I should be doing is I should, for all of these pop-ups, I should be caching them, right? So I construct them once and then just kind of, so they're constructed upon request once. Yeah, and then I should be duplicating them if you open them twice. So if you have just one and you close it, then it gets removed from the cache. But if you have one and then you open the pop-up again, then it'll just duplicate the current window. Yeah. So it'll be fast. Or even like if you open it, if you have one window and you close it, it remains in the cache. Perhaps. We'll think about it. File empty. So this is like, we'll do this one. That's fine. So return. Runner file empty. It's not. Some of these aren't quite correct, right? So region default GUI. Yeah. Okay. So I should move a lot of these to there. So this is GUI. All right, so GUI, most of these are runner load file empty, right? Yeah. So load file, load file empty, load file failed. GUI unhandled format. Tracker invalid GD scripts. Something like that, right? And then we'll just have to switch all of these around. That's pretty much it, right? Then all of these should switch over to file empty. Wait. Yeah, file empty. Load file fail. And then unhandled file format. And then I think most of these we can just get rid of. I think. Maybe? Alright, let's do a search first. So runner trait uses this, that's fine. Runner trait uses all of these. File empty is really only used here, so we can get rid of that. That's fine. This one is only used, well, this one's used in runner traits as well, so that's fine. Nice. Okay, so then this is something that could possibly return null, which is very good. Very good. Because if this is, well, this won't return null. This will be, this is one of the error resilient functions. So it will actually return an error code, which is good. This one is a bit scary, but we just have to go with it. And here, we'll do let me see, instance, and then we'll call the entry point function. So it'll be like instance call, what is it called? Entry point. And so that goes here, tracking GUI descriptor. Yeah. Okay. So something like data, right? And then we'll need to check to see whether or not this is valid. So we are expecting something of type dictionary. If type of data is not type dictionary, then GUI tracker invalid descriptor, something like that. Okay, cool. Then we'll do r is equal to data. That's fine. Else, this is where it starts getting a little spicy, right? Because this should be of type reference. And so we'll also hang on to this error code. This will be very useful. So if instance, if not, instance is, well, no. Well, yeah, if not instance is reference, or if instance is node. Isn't it like you can check to see you can call various class functions. So it's like is class. So object is class, inherits from the given class. Let's not take, okay, yeah, this is fine. Sweet. Or if instance is class node. So we don't want this to be a node. If it is a node, it should explode. That's good. What is the error? Misplaced if. No, or sorry. Okay. Okay. So it needs to be more than an object, right? Because we want it to be reference counted. If it is an object, that means that you have specifically called this out to be an object, which is wrong, because then it will leak data every time it's constructed, which is not good, right? Reference counted objects are different from just regular objects, because reference counted objects will get cleaned up automatically, whereas objects need to, explicitly be cleaned up. So when in doubt, just don't put any extend, and then the script will inherit from reference automatically. Yeah. Then here we'll do, yeah, so this must be something of type object. 100%, but we don't want it to just be an object. Yeah. For prop in, get property list if prop name in global constants ignored reference properties. Yeah, that's fine. So how would you do something like this? Yeah, so if you don't have a descriptor function that explicitly gives you back a dictionary, what it will do instead is just look through every single property that it has on it. So, you know, var ASDF. Oh, thank you very much for the follow, anonymous viewer. Much appreciated. What I'm working on is this application. Look at this. I wrote this, by the way. So I am working on the next generation of it, which is this one. The UI is a lot better. Code is a lot cleaner. All that good stuff. Oh, I forgot. You got to do it like this. So like that, blah, blah. So I'm working on getting the tracking stuff up and running. Most everything is kind of hooked up already. So anything that's hooks directly into the configuration files, so apply translation, rotation, looseness, blah, blah, those are automatically synced. Things are specific to the scene that's currently running. So moving the model, rotating the model, those are not automatically synced. So I also need to solve for that at some point. Hello, Stone B Studio, Stone B. Stoneb, possibly as well. What thing are you developing? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. I think I'm allowing for too many possibilities here, but it is what it is, right? So what I'm writing is some way to describe this field here using just GD script, which is gonna be a little tough. So the preferred way is for this thing to call a function. It should just do a thing, gives me back a dictionary, and then it of course builds stuff for me. So we call run, blah blah, Python path will be filled with this object, and then we just take that and run with it. But also you do have the possibility of not providing a run function. So here we have the relative path to the file, data tracking GUI, descriptor.gd, that's what this is, and then colon, so I parse that out, then supply a name, run, so we know what to call on it, right? That's easy. But I think also it should be valid for you to just provide a bunch of variables and then we'll just figure out what to do from there. Of course, that's also like a lot more difficult, but we'll think about it. So I'm trying to hook that up, or maybe I'll just require it, right? Maybe I'll just require it. Because otherwise there's not really too many ways for me to know. Or what I could do, yeah, you know what? What I could do is I require a very specific sort of syntax for this. So if you don't provide a function, here, yeah, actually, yeah. So doing something like this is valid as well. So ASDF is equal to, Python path. And then once you create the file, these functions will fire. Yeah, you know what? That's valid as well. And I think that's actually kind of neat. I mean, it still requires a very, very specific set of syntax. Oh yeah. You think GDScript is good enough for your app? I think It's hard to say. I was about to say yes, but that's not true. That's not true. I think for any application that gets sufficiently large, you need to have namespaces. So Descriptor does not have a namespace. Everything is just in the namespace, the global namespace, which is really tough to work with. Like, yeah, there are workarounds, but yeah. Well, the biggest thing is the lack of namespacing, right? So usually in like a regular programming language, you know, how you would import in stuff from other files is you would use like, you know, like imports, you know, model, blah, right? And then you would have access to everything that's inside of there. So that's like C# style. Or in Java, you would do like model, you know, VRM model, and then that would be the, or VRM model, right? And that would be the class that you have access to in Java. I think JavaScript works almost the same way as well, right? But here, everything is just available to you in all the time, which is tough. So it's a lot harder to stay organized. Is there an easy way to count the number of lines in a project? Ignore these. I may or may not have been just idly reading some manga. Because at work, it takes about an hour and a half to build our clusters now. So it's almost the same as the XKCD comic, like compiling. Like, oh, I'm compiling. It's tough though. But instead of compiling, now we're just standing up Kubernetes clusters on various LPARs. LPAR stands for logical partition. Logical partitions are really only useful on mainframes. I am working with mainframes because I think big companies get kickbacks for using mainframes because they're actually like, they're one, they're very powerful, but two, I think they're also more efficient. I've heard from experts in both x86, which is like standard computing, and mainframe, so like S390X architecture. So S390X is more efficient apparently in terms of electricity use. Check line counts of get line count, sure. Count number of lines in a Git repository. Xargs, do I have Xargs? Clock, do I have clock? Count lines of code. Is clock just a thing I have access to, or no? Do I have clock? Cloud, clock? I don't have clock. Scoop, search, clock. Hey. We gotta wait for Scoop to do its thing. XT clock. Kapow punch clock. Okay, look at that. Do I have Xargs? I do have Xargs. Okay, so I can just do that. That's fine. I thought Xargs was like an X11 thing. Okay, I wish I'll be lurking. All right, have fun lurking. I'll be here for a little bit. Whew. Oh my god. This doesn't seem right. Oh, it's because it's counting gut files as well. Okay, that makes sense. So some of these are mine, some of these aren't. I think only 10,000 of these lines are mine, and the rest are guts. I'm not sure, I would need to check. Actually, I can check right here, right? So we go to, well, we can check in this project as well. So now I'm interested. How many lines of code does gut take up? And then is that relevant for me? Oh, there's no Git repository here. Yeah. We'll do it later, I suppose. That's fine. Whatever. All I know is that I'm above 10,000 lines. Which is tough. So var value is equal to instant get prop name, something like that. Val, if not, val is class node. Then what I'll want to do is one, we first need to clean up. So clean up files first. So then, oh, I should probably turn this off while I'm working on stuff. Clean up files first. For key in R keys R key free R clear, and then we'll return result error. Yeah. Just return this really quickly. So we'll return a path to some stuff. Path and then on prop name. So we know exactly what we failed on. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So here, if the class, this must be a node. Otherwise, I don't know what to do with it. Must be a, must inherit from node. And then, yeah, I mean, it's pretty much it, right? So our prop name is equal to value, and then we'll just move on to the next one. Yeah, I think that's a really good, that's a really good thing. So entry point, for example, run returns a dictionary. Okay, so func run what am I doing? My node, my func to generate control, my func to generate control, something like that. And then this one will be just insert an inline comment here. Bar my control is equal to my func to something like that. Yeah. So I feel like I need to have like descriptors for all of these because these are kind of complicated. And I should also be, or actually global constants. So arbitrary data. Yeah, so data, data must be in this format. And actually it feels like this should probably be handled by the extension manager instead. Yeah. Or maybe not. Maybe just like this stuff should be handled by the extension manager, and then there's like additional functions that can be fed in, something like that. So it's kind of like a very complicated, we'll pass function references over to the extension manager, which will handle all of this? I'll think about that. So I think this needs to be documented somewhere. Otherwise, I'm going to forget how this works. Because I think the solution is a bit too clever for my own good, which is something you never want to hear. Yeah, I think that's not so bad. Yeah. So if it accepts JSON, I'll need to think about, if it accepts JSON, what are we doing? Because I'm pretty sure if I just pack in like a GD file, that's easy. Anything else, like how would you define this using JSON? Yeah, maybe not. Yeah, maybe not. Like TOML, JSON, I don't know how you would define an interface using those things, right? Yeah, I think the syntax is just way too difficult to define there. That's unfortunate. Because also to maintain I mean, let's puzzle this out. Let's puzzle this out. So given a JSON thing, right? So we have the file text. So then we do JSON parse results, JSON parse file text, right? So that's that. Now we'll do JSON parse result. JSON parse result, TOML parse result, oh baby. JSON parse result error is not equal to okay. Then this is GUI tracker invalid descriptor, something like that. Or it's like malformed whatever. Or we can do like invalid GD script or invalid JSON. Something like that, right? So this is JSON data is equal to JSON parse result dot result, and then we need to verify the type. So if type of JSON data does not equal type, this should be an array actually. Yeah, because JSON can either be the familiar curly brackets, or you can actually pass an array as well as your outermost containing thing. It's not very common, but you can pass JSON like that. But has anyone ever asked for Jason's opinion about all of this? Oh no. So if it's not of type array, well, no, we think about it. We can force it to be a dictionary, and then I'll just need to update the documentation. So let me add a new thing. Oh, not a new file. Let's add folder. Let's do extensions data extension data descriptor. So it needs to be some sort of markdown. We'll push it out like this. How do I usually do these? Extensions, blah blah. Okay. So let's do this. Extension data descriptor. The extension data descriptor is a piece of arbitrary data. Okay. That describes is a piece of arbitrary, or is a file that describes an extension. It can take a few different forms. So we can do, so UI is one of them, but I'm not sure what the other forms you would ever want to have for this. Plain old data, pods, plain old data, pogs. What are they called? Is it just called a plain old data class? Programming pod. Plain old Apodo? Passive data structure? Pod. Pod. Plain old data. And then we'll think of the other ones, right? And actually, maybe this should be like a table of contents. Okay. So we're looking for one of these. So there's the UI one and then the pod. Okay, so let's do a table of contents. Why not? Don't generate me here. Generate me here. No anime? Yeah, sorry. Wasn't really feeling it today. Maybe tomorrow. I'm very tired from work. I apologize. Only science? Yeah, only science. Well, actually, only documentation for now. Everyone loves a good documentation thingy. Because I need to document this for my own sanity. Otherwise, I'm 100% going to forget. You know, it's something that just happens sometimes. Look at that. Save that. Look how nice this looks. Oh, baby. So UI. And so then you can have GD script, JSON, and then TOML. And so these are all possible things you can have. And then similarly for pods, which is plain old data. I'm pretty sure you shouldn't call it plain old data object, but I suppose you could. What's a developer's worst nightmare? I think the meme answer is to fix their code from a week ago. But I don't know. It depends, right? I think the developer's worst nightmare, or at least my worst nightmare, would be to work with somebody, like pretty much be leased to somebody who doesn't know how programming works. So basically, like if I were to be like, or my company was like, okay, so you know, congratulations, you're now on a new project. This project is, you know, You know, the person paying for it has a blank check, but they don't know anything about programming. Good luck. That's going to be scary. Right, having to work for people who don't know how programming works, that's probably what I would consider a nightmare. Right, because they'll do whatever they want. And they'll be like, oh yeah, like give me a UI. I'm like, all right, how do you want the UI to work? You know, and then they'll say, oh, I would like some buttons. It's like, it's not useful data. You gotta tell me how exactly, like down to like the placement on the page. How do you want your UI to look? But you know, someone who doesn't know anything about programming will just be like, you know, I want buttons. You know, I want data to go from here to here. It's like, that's not how this works. I don't know how programming works. Yeah, well, you know, I suppose if you have like a blank check and an unlimited time frame, then yeah, I mean, I guess that's a plus. But for real work, I would not want to do that. Right? It's like having to work with a stakeholder who doesn't know anything about programming is like, it's like babysitting, right? It's like babysitting, except the baby is paying your salary as well, which is terrifying. Just kidding, I am a programmer. Are you? So UI describes how a UI element should be laid out. How the UI is parsed depends on the file type. I think I'm one of the few programmers that does enjoy writing documentation, though. So GD script. Yeah. Yeah. By the way, it doesn't really matter to me whether or not, you know, people in chat are programmers or not. That's fine. You're not paying my bills. But actually, at least in the US, student payments down. You know, I bought my current place, or I have a mortgage on my current place, and I have a very low mortgage rates. So is it a little expensive? Yeah, but like housing market's pretty hot. So technically, my current place is already worth about $30,000 more than when I bought it. So, I mean, that's what we in the business would call a bubble, but you know. So this will have a run function or an entry point. So entry point, no entry point. So you need to be very careful about this. Emit in table of contents. I think that's fine. And technically, we're paying your bills because monetization. I mean, I've showed this on stream before, right? And because I've shown it on stream before, I gotta be careful because I don't remember if there's anything I don't want to show. But let me go into my insights, my channel analytics. Yeah, look at this. So, are you paying my bills? I guess. I'm not sure if you've ever subbed, but you know, I've only made 2 subscriptions in the past pay period. One of them is from my brother, although actually I don't remember if my brother is subscribed to me. I think my parents are subscribed to me because they have Twitch Prime subscriptions they don't use. And then there's somebody else who, you know, long-time viewer, but they're busier these days, so they don't usually pop in. But see, if you're not subscribed, then like, guess what? I think you've only made me 1 cent, probably. So congratulations. I'm sure to be eating well on this $6.51 I'm making a month, roughly. What did I make last month? I actually made less in April. Made even less in February. Made a decent amount, okay amount in January. So I don't make like any money from this, by the way. You know, that's fine because it's not supposed to be something I make a lot of money from. I think I've only been, I've only been paid out from Twitch once. Yeah, because you need to have made more than $100 if you want to get paid out. So I guess if you use like an ad blocker, it's like whatever, dude. I'll be missing that 1 cent. I don't have enough viewers to make any money off of ads. I think I did have a very short-term contract with somebody who was interested in monetizing this. And so I forked the project, but that contract is more or less kind of fallen through. That's okay. I already got my upfront money. Will I get the rest of it? Absolutely not. Probably not. But that's fine. So entry point, no entry point. And entry. Let's see. What was the design I had in mind for this? In the config.ini file, a new key called data will be added to an extension manifest. The value will be, the value must be set to a relative file path relative to the extension's context path. So many Chrome tabs. Do I have so many Chrome tabs? This is the fact that you can kind of read what each Chrome tab is about means that you don't have that there's very few Chrome tabs. It only looks like there's a bunch of Chrome tabs because it's on a vertical monitor. Yeah. You know you have a lot of Chrome tabs if you bring, a tab over like on your, widescreen monitor, and then you can only see the icons. That means that you have a ton of Chrome tabs, which is about standard for debugging, right? Something that a lot of beginner programmers seem to miss is that, debugging is hard. Debugging sucks, right? But that's like the best trait to have in a programmer is the ability to be given incomplete information and be willing to be wrong a lot. A lot of people hate being wrong for whatever reason. I think the older I get, I'm like, man, so many people just hate being wrong for some reason. But that's how you problem solve. Problem solving is just being wrong and then being like, okay, that's fine, and moving on to the next possible answer. But a lot of people are like, oh no, I don't want to try Googling it, right? What if the Google search is wrong? It's just, yeah, just make another Google search. Who cares? No one's grading you on it. Is your company charging you per Google search? That's crazy. If an entry point is required, it must be added to the value, be limited by a colon. Example. Data equal my data get data. Something like that. And you fix the bug, and then two other bugs appear, basically Windows in a nutshell. Well, if you think about it, Windows is actually very impressive, right? The fact that Windows is pretty much compatible with any other version of Windows is pretty sick, right? I think something that gets me a lot is like a lot of people who like using Linux or even like Mac, yeah, like my system is more stable, sure. Linux maybe not, but Mac definitely more stable. But they can't really guarantee compatibility across versions. Mac, you might still be able to, but Linux, absolutely not. And then you have, I don't know, like for this application, you have like self-proclaimed like Linux experts who are like, I don't know how to read a README. How do you install things from the command line? I'm like, just please, please, you're dumber than you think. Please listen to me. Like, I develop on Windows, yes, because I like the compatibility. But you need to read the README. Install the things from the command line. Do everything from the command line, please. So, I don't know. I think Windows is nice. Windows is nice. For end user software, Windows is great. Because everything more or less just works. Computers are cool. Computers are alright. Computers are machines. Controversial statements only here on this channel. So entry points. If an entry point is given, hold on. The entire Descript file is parsed and then loaded into an in-memory Descript file. When is given, then call entry points name be executed on a new instance of the file. And you just be like, how do I power on the device? Tech support would be like, just restart Lamau. Yeah, pretty much. Right? It's always kind of hard to say how much a person knows. Like, I understand why tech support, they're like, have you tried turning it off and on again? It's because a lot of people don't consider the simple stuff. Because computers are very complex, but the interface they expose to end users is very simple, right? A computer just has on and off. So just press the button. Press the button. Will you lose some data? Maybe. But at least the rest of your computer stuff will still work, unless you're in the middle of updating. But, if you think of things in terms of API interfaces, it's a lot easier. So a physical computer has a very simple API interface. You have all the connecting ports, your Ethernets, your USB stuff, whatnot. You have your power button. Yeah, it's very simple. So try all the possibilities. Like don't stick like a fork into your computer when you're powering it on, of course, but follow the same rules you would follow with like a power socket. Like, it's amazing how many people would like accidentally kill themselves in like normal life. It's very strange. Like, people like to joke about, if you give a baby a fork, they'll stick it into a power socket and then electrocute themselves. But I'm pretty sure if you gave an adult the same thing, they would also potentially Like if you didn't tell them not to, they'd be like, I wonder if I stuck the fork into the power socket, what would happen? You know? There's a surprising amount of people that lack common sense when they are thrust into an unfamiliar situation. It's like when you're in an unfamiliar situation, you should, you know, double down on what you know, not just throw everything away. But I guess what people know is very little. Not too much problem-solving skills. Too much rote memorization. So, the results of the function call must be a dictionary of node. Result of the function call must be a dictionary of string to node. No entry points. If no entry points is given, then get property list will be executed. New instance of the file. The standard, or I guess all irrelevant built-in properties will be ignored. Every property must contain a node. Must contain something that inherits from node. So e.g. example. I'm writing the documentation for myself, but maybe this will also help somebody else. So func, you know, run. Turn this stuff, GD script. Some people won't turn off the device because they don't know how to do it except for servers. Yeah, it's possible. Like even on a server, like you would be surprised how easy it is to turn off a server. Or like what would you tell a computer to shut it off? Would you tell a computer to shut down? Guess what? On a Linux box, to shut it off, you hit with a shutdown, and then it would schedule a restart. But then if you want it to shut down immediately, then you just need to pass a flag, right? It's like computing is pretty brain dead at this level of abstraction. Windows Server usually asks you why are you shutting down? Does it? It's been a little while since I've used the UI for Windows Server, so I don't remember. File. must inherit from reference so that it can be automatically cleaned up. Yeah, I've only worked with Windows Server like twice professionally, so I don't know. Pretty much any server though, you would almost never shut it down. Like I think for this, even this computer, oh, that's not true. Do I have uptime? I don't have uptime. Okay. What's the Windows equivalent of uptime? Also, do you know what updog is? Windows equivalent of uptime. Net statistics workstation. I don't know if I want that, but maybe. You know what? I'm not familiar with that command, so we're not gonna run it. It scares me, so maybe it might like accidentally reveal my address, so we won't run it. Notes if no class name, if no extends declaration is given, the entire script is assumed to extend reference. Yeah. What do you think about large capacity hard drives? I think they're cool. I don't know. Seems good enough. I don't really have an opinion, I suppose. Turn control now. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with having more storage, right? Storage is good. I don't really have an opinion. Now, if you were to ask me about my opinion about tape-based storage, now we're talking. Now we're talking. I'm pretty sure that's what, isn't that what Amazon Avalanche is for? Amazon Avalanche, yeah. No? Is that not what it's called? Glacier, Amazon Glacier? Glacier. Yeah. Now we're talking about Glacier. No, that's interesting. That's interesting. That's not really a hard drive. This is tape. Like physical tape. And then if you want to restore your data, they need to send like a truck with all the tape over to like the applicable data center. It's really cool. It's also very expensive because it's physical tape that contains all your data. Now that's interesting. That's interesting, right? Because you know, like hard drives and like SSDs only have a lifespan of about 10 years, 10 to 20 years, and then after that they start to go bad. Whereas tape will last for probably longer. I actually don't know how long the tape lasts, but the reason, from what I understand, the reason why they still use tape is because it does last a long time. There are read-only SSDs. Well, you need to write to the SSD beforehand. You know, there's no such thing as read-only data or read-only storage devices. You need to write to the storage device and then you can lock it for writing so that you can only read it. But you must write to it at some point. CDs are not SSDs. CDs are CDs SSDs? Are CDs SSDs? CD, USB, SD, yeah. CDs are not SSDs. Because SSD is basically flash storage, as far as I understand. Okay, let me see. Oh, thank you for redeeming a hydrate. Let's drink some water. Everyone loves a lot of water. Remember to drink water, kids. What's the difference? So flash storage is, from what I understand, it's like just like raw memory, something like that. I don't know. I actually don't know. I actually don't know what flash storage is. I can tell you how a CD works though. So CD is burned into sectors around the circle. So we go into paint. So a CD, right? A CD, everyone knows what a CD looks like, or used to remember. So then you have various sectors. So you'll have like a sector here, and then it might curl out a bit more. You have a sector here, a sector here. And so then if you want, I'm pretty sure that's how CDs work, right? Right, and so then if you want to access data in a specific sector, the little scanner actually needs to, right? So you'll have like a scanning pointer somewhere, and it'll start here, and it'll start reading here. So if you want to read data in a specific sector, you actually need to move the data pointer to a specific sector, and then the CD needs to spin to a specific point as well, right? So if you wanted to read something from here, you would need to move the pointer out, and then also spin the CD to the specific point in time. And so then that's how you would read the sector. Is it like a vinyl? No, vinyls are, well, it's like kind of like a vinyl, except I guess vinyls you can't just move. You can't just move the track head wherever you want, right? On a vinyl, you need to pick it up, put it at the beginning, and then it'll just spin out in a spiral. Whereas on a CD, you can access arbitrary sectors, right? Your pointer, which is the red part, can move wherever you want, depending on what you need to access on the CD. But yeah, I guess it's like a vinyl, I suppose. Maybe. That's not really correct, but it's close. So that's how a CD works, as far as I understand. Which is why CDs are also very slow. It's because you needed to spin the CD and also move the pointer to the specific sector to read it. No, I mean that's just what I've read. I don't know. You know, a lot of these things no one's ever taught me it. I've just kind of picked it up just because. Which is a key part of being a programmer. You need to be interested in stuff. What if you spin very fast a hard drive? You would probably lose all the data on it. Yeah. Why do hard drives spin? Because I think hard drives work off the same principle. So if we're talking like a hard drive, not a hard drive, not like an SSD, a hard drive, I think uses tape, but it's not the same type of tape that Amazon Glacier uses. It's not the same type of tape that Amazon Glacier uses. But I'm pretty sure it's hard drives are disk. Actually, I know hard drives are disk based, not tape based. Yeah, never mind. So yeah, hard drives are disk based, but they're not like a CD disk. They're like some other sort of disk. I don't really know. Name of the Name of the resulting node, and then this one should be the same thing. The only reserved variable name is name, which is used to as the name, the node name, the resulting node. Something like that. Why do hard drives spin though? What do you think about DALL-E 2? What is DALL-E 2? Is that like so one, why do hard drives spin? I have no idea. You could Google it though. DALL-E 2 is like the AI art generation program. I think it's cool. It's unlikely to replace real artists. I think it's unlikely within our lifetimes that an AI will be able to replace like any creative endeavor, right? Where, you know, creative endeavors are like arts, music, like visual arts, music, programming, etc., right? Anything that doesn't have like a set formula for it, AIs are not going to replace humans within our lifetimes, which is like maybe 100 years. But after that, I don't know, anything's really possible, right? Yeah, isn't there's like there's a new AI that's out on the block. Let me check my Twitter feed because there's someone I like to follow that has been showing off some pretty sick AI generated stuff. Like I can see it being a very useful tool for, you know, like I know a lot of artists, if you're doing like mixed media stuff, they'll generate like a background in like Blender or something, and then, you know, base the rest of their composition off of that, which is cool. You know, I get it. You know, it saves you a lot of time. Time is money, blah, blah, blah. You know? Hold on, I'm trying to find it on my other screen, and I'm purposely not showing it because my Twitter feed is quite degenerate. It should not be shown off to the general public. Otherwise, that would be somewhat embarrassing. Also because, I don't know, man. Why do people like retweet lewd stuff? Don't retweet lewd stuff. Don't do that. Stop it. What are you doing? Hold on. I have some of their stuff saved. Hold on. It's called like MIDI Journey, I think. Let me find it. Let me find it. We're just scrolling. We're scrolling. We're scrolling. We're scrolling. We're scrolling. We're scrolling. All right, this person. Yeah. Oh, actually, some of these might be against TOS. This one. Maybe not. Ooh, that's also against TOS. Actually, yeah, I've never really realized how many of these person's posts are against TOS. All right, this one. Look at that. So this is Mid-Journey. So I don't think that they compose these, but I think like these are really cool. So you could definitely make some compositions based off of these things, and that would be pretty sick, right? Like I don't know what the heck this is. It looks cool though. It's very AI. Right? If you were to tell an AI, like, give me a cat with like, it's kind of messed up with an upside down head, and then that's, you know, the AI would be like, yes, I love it. Cat with an upside down face, beautiful. You know, like, or like, give me cats, but like, you know, the proportions are just slightly off, but it's just realistic and fleshy enough to make you a little unnerved. Because like clearly like this is not a real cat. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, it could be. I don't know. You know, like, what the heck is this? You know, but as like an artistic reference for an artist, yeah, I can see how this would be really cool, right? Has Dolly drawn anime yet? Well, I don't know. Also, this is not Dolly. This is Mid Journey. So I don't know. I think Dolly is like specifically for game assets, right? Imagine an AI fixing their own bugs. They won't. Not yet, anyways. I think it's very, very unlikely. Within our lifetimes, of course. Within our lifetimes, it's very unlikely. Right? So what is the API interface I want to expose here? It's probably like nodes, right? So we'll do the same thing. Nodes here. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So these are all kind of the same stuff. So this is like type. So this is the node type. Something like that, and then you can do like type. I don't know, like control. Something like that. And that's how you would define a node via JSON, although that should not be relied upon, right? Optional example name. Then we can have like some node property. So that's not hard to do. If we go to like this thing, you can do like anchor left, whatever. So anchor left, you know, 10, whatever, or 000, like that. And that's how you would define a property on the node. So these must, you know, do various stuff. So it's like a very cumbersome way of defining a node, basically. But if you want to do it via JSON, it technically should be possible, yeah. Right, so you would do something like that, type. Must correspond 1-to-1 with what Godot has for their class names. And then you can have like text, so this is a property, you know, some label text. Nodes may or may not exist, and then we'll, you know, just handle it. Right, and then these, you know, the array guarantees the order, which is nice. And then that's how you guarantee node order as well in Godot. Toml, I'm not sure. Yeah, Toml is to be decided. So stub, all of these are just stub. So we'll actually hit them with a to do. So to do. Stub. Okay. So I think this makes sense. So if you want like a JSON thing, that's how it should be. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. A JSON file that describes a can be supplied. Reserved keys include name and nodes. So name is the name of the node. And this is children nodes. Every other key keys not including reserved keys must refer to exact node properties. Something like that. Yeah, so I think that makes sense, right? So here we have like our extension data descriptors. So UI describes how a UI element should be laid out. We can even look at how this would look here. So if we just copy and paste this into GitHub, let's GitHub, look at that. So we get a nice UI, or yeah, basically, yeah, a nice markdown document. So you have UI, GD scripts, blah, blah, JSON, you know, there's your example, toml pod, where a pod is plain old data. I think, yeah, this is pretty good. This is pretty good, I think. I think this looks really good, at least in my opinion. And a lot of this, yeah, it's easy for me to follow along and then just forget who wrote it and be like, wow, who is the smart guy that wrote this? Oh, it was me. Yeah, I think that feels pretty good. That feels pretty good to me. Tracking data descriptor. This one we can add a name as I have listed here. OpenCV UI, something like that. So then here, tracking. If it's GD scripts, then we'll get the instance. Then we can do our name is equal to, will equal like instance get name, otherwise it'll be path get base name get file. Hey. Oh, okay, I need to do this in a separate thing. So that's instance get, so if our name empty, and our name is equal to this thing. Yeah. It seems pretty good. That seems pretty good. So this satisfies this requirement for the node name. This returns a dictionary, blah, blah. So the name is just kind of ripped out. Yeah. Actually, that's not true. This is actually somewhat incorrect, now that I'm looking at it. So we'll go back to extension data descriptor. name. Yeah. That's how it should be. Yeah, okay, so we'll move this over here. Yeah. That feels pretty good. That feels pretty good. So we can even view our changes in real time like that. Yeah. So we can either directly return a dictionary, or we'll just try to parse it ourselves based off of all the custom properties. Yeah. JSON, it's pretty easy as well. We'll just follow this design here as I've somehow puzzled out by myself, for better or worse. So if not, whatever, this is invalid JSON, basically. Alright, so this is path JSON parse results. Error description. Yeah, that's pretty good. Must be a JSON object. Okay, and then we'll just parse it like this. So name is optional. Type is not optional. Type is required, right? The type of the node to create. Yeah, okay. One more try. Send me one more time. Send me. Takes a little bit. Okay. So we'll okay. Well, actually, yeah. I mean, that's pretty much it. Well, no, because this needs to be a. This needs to be. Return. This needs to be a result of a dictionary of string to nodes. The UI descriptor from the UI descriptor, the UI parsed from the descriptor. Yeah, I think that'll work. Handle JSON. So this will be some sort of dictionary. There we go. And then that should be, yeah, it should probably be a static function. Like all of these can be static. Most of these actually can be static as well. Yeah, because they don't rely on any of these things. Yeah. Okay. if data has name our name is equal to data name. If data, oh, and then we need to do a bit of verification. So if not data has type, then just return immediately. Actually, that's the most important part. Actually, this should be a result as well. Results, okay. Wrap it like that. This needs to be result error. And then add an error code, invalid JSON. Right, something like that. And then we just need the check to see. Let me think. How do I pass the result down through all of these? I could always wrap this in a result. So this is not, you know, like this is now a result, right? Yeah, that's possible. So if data is error, return data, otherwise. So this is like, okay, so then var data dictionary is equal to data result unwrap. Something like that. And then, yeah, that's not so bad. Data, if not has data has type, then we'll try to bail out as fast as possible. Otherwise, we should do it like so. Data. Oh, but actually, no, because we should not be... We should be doing this. We need to check for the type. We don't care about the name just yet. But you do need to pass along a dictionary. Right? Yeah. Okay, give me 1 sec. I gotta rethink this. Hold on. This thing needs to change. All right, that seems pretty good. And then these will be boxed into their own thing. Yeah, so all data must be boxed into a thing. So all data will be returned as a dictionary containing an optional name and required nodes array. Example. So something like this. Right. Yeah. My node name, and then my node something like that. Right. Seems pretty good. But then this is kind of tough. Actually, that's not super tough, right? Because since these are all nodes, that's okay. We'll do nodes append Python path, then r nodes is equal to nodes. Yeah, that seems pretty good. That seems pretty good. Yeah, seems pretty good to me. And then we'll just follow this for parsing JSON. So JSON needs to have all the requisite properties available on it. Yeah. So let's think. Give me one sec. Receive the text message. Who's texting me at this time of night? Yeah. Oh, it's freaking work. They're doing some patching late at night so that people don't like break stuff. It's like I don't care, man. Who's doing stuff on the mainframe at this time of night? Interesting. Not. Like, yeah, I get it. You can't patch during the normal workday, at least for US-based employees, right? Because the US-based employees are the most expensive ones, along with like European employees. Well, Western Europe. Eastern Europe are, like, to be honest, a bit cheaper than Western Europe, but so it goes. So it goes. Give me one sec. I mean, I was mentioned by name, so give me one sec. I'm reading an email on my phone. Because I'm suddenly very nervous. Why would you call me out? It's probably fine. I don't know. Send it, dude. I don't know why I was called out. Maybe it's because they thought I was like offshore or something because of my last name. You know, nothing wrong with offshore, you know. It's just that there are, you know, certain concerns and or stipulations about who has access to what. You know, it's very political. result is equal to handle JSON. So handle JSON, so JSON. So we wrap this in a result, and then it'll just proceed to give me back a result. So it's a little confusing. It's a little confusing. So handle JSON takes a result by default, and then hopefully it should give me back an OK, but possibly it will give me back this instead, an error, invalid JSON. Right? And then we always wrap, we replace the kind of, actually we don't even replace the data type that results contains. We just kind of transform it instead. So we dump it, essentially. Oh, but actually, no. That's not true. Maybe this should be like handle JSON inner. Give me one sec. Okay, so data res. So data, blah, blah, that's your dictionary, whatever, we don't care. Blah, blah. Handle JSON inner. Give me one sec. Software design is hard, man. I'm trying to wrap everything as best as possible. As good as possible. So does this make sense? Does this make sense? Because I do need to return a result if we want to know how to unwrap stuff. So if we want to bubble up an error, if that makes any sense. So we can pass along the initial data as well. So this is the initial data, like so. And then we'll do handle JSON inner. So we have data and then results. Okay, I suppose. Hey. If not data has type, then return results. Error code. GUI tracker invalid JSON, I suppose. What is the good way of doing this? I gotta think. Or maybe I'm 100% like super overthinking this. I'm 100% overthinking this. So we need to loop through this recursively because every single node is composed of the same type of node, right? So that's just recursive. That's regular recursion. So we just need to return a result. So if not data has type, return results, error code, hey, invalid JSON. Okay, then we'll do var node is equal to class db. Is it called create? Hold on. What is it called in Godot when you just create something using the class db instead of the usual creation algorithm? Class db instance. Okay, so it's just instance. So var node is equal to class db instance. And using this thing. So data type. And then we also need the check or not class db class exists like that. Yeah, okay. So then we do our requisite error checking there, create the node. Yeah, that's not so bad. If data has name, then we'll do node.name is equal to data name. And then for I in data get nodes, and we'll pass in an empty array in the meantime, just in case it doesn't exist. Or actually, no, I do need to be careful about how I do this. So var extra additional nodes, gotta be careful about this, is equal to data get nodes if additional nodes, or if type of additional nodes is not type array. And we'll also return the same error code, that's fine. For I in additional nodes, so each one of those should be a dictionary, right? So if type of I is not type dictionary, then we'll return the same error code. Something like that. But then what do we do with this node? I guess we just need to return it at some point as well. Yeah. Right, so then we'll do, well, because we have the node, right? Actually, yeah, no, we just need to construct the entire node object from this thing. Yeah. So this is our main node, and then for every node under it, we'll do the same thing. So var result is equal to handle JSON I, if res is error, return res. Otherwise, we'll do node add child res unwrap, and then we'll just yeah, return the node here. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so it'll recursively construct a node chain from this file. Yeah. Yeah. Something like that. Whereas I think this is probably needs to change as well. So to do this needs to change for GDScript files to return a node instead of a dictionary. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. IMO. So I'm going to, yeah, we'll send it. RM, RF, utils, dir util. We'll get rid of that for now because there's no reason to use the directory util. I don't remember what I was thinking at the time, but I was probably super mind-flooded during work. So git add all, git status, git commit, add documentation for GUI, or it's for like UI data descriptors. More work on trackers. All right, so push me. That'll be fine. You know what? It's just occurred to me I have not actually tried to run gut. Probably should have run this before, but it's all green. That's fine. A few errors here and there, but that's also very good. These are expected errors. Yeah, not so bad. So if we look at, you know, leave changes, virtual puppet project, puppeteer, look at that. It's beautiful. Refactors, super cleanup. It should be running the CI job. All that good stuff. Yeah, that was pretty good. Look at all these commits though, oh my god. But yeah, anyways, thanks for tuning in. I'll be live tomorrow from, when am I usually live from? 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern time, working on this again. I'm trying to, you know, race to the finish. Hopefully we can get this cleaned up as soon as possible, because this is just absolutely killing me. I want to work on stuff. But yeah, there's a Discord. There's a GitHub if you want. If you're interested in any of the things that I'm working on, you know, like the bot, this code is there. I think overlay is also a command. Yeah, there's the overlay. Yeah, pretty much everything I work on is free and open source. Yeah, I stream Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern time, and on Wednesdays from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern time. Thanks for tuning in. You know, tomorrow, 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern time. Discord if you need help running the current release of Puppeteer, which is actually still called OpenCBase D81, but you know, we'll ignore that for now. Yeah, I will see you next time. Goodbye.